All right, if you're at home right now, this is the recording from Wednesday's class. We're starting out with IXL, so you go to this website right here, ixl.com / oh, not that one. Sorry, I'll type it in here. ixl.com / sign-in / Marist. So type that in. You might want to pause the video now so you can go to that website. But Connolly, your login is ConnollyHawken27. And the password is BAT93. And Lauren, your login is Lauren Thornton 2757 count. That's the password right there. All right, so go ahead and log in. I'll come right back in a second. Go and pause the video, and I'll tell you what the assignment is in a second. All right, everybody, once you are in, up here in the top left, you see Learning. Click on Learning. Once you're in Learning, go down to 7th grade, and then click on C. Does it say Math under yours? So if you click Learning, what happens? We're already in 7th grade. So Learning. I got to go down to 7th grade. I don't know which y'all go to, but I go to 7th grade. Okay, good. And then P.1. Everybody find P.1. P.1 right here. P.1 says coordinate plane review. So find that assignment, everybody. No, go to math. Go to math. You might have to click on math. Yours might look different than mine. You got to go to math, 7th grade math, if that's an option. And then once you see all the 7th grade math lessons, click on P.1 coordinate plane review. That's what we're doing right now. Okay? So we're going to take about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, however long it takes to finish this or come close to finishing. This is going to be our warm-up for today. P.1 coordinate plane review. Go ahead and start that now. And if you're at home, pause the video now. All right, guys. So let's leave the IXL now. You should have gotten what? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, if you're over 80, you're fine. If you're not over 80, come see me in tutorial if you have more questions. I'm happy to help you. But in the meantime, let's get going on today's lesson. First things first, last night's homework. Let me bring that up on my screen 1 second. Okay, so last night's homework was here. Does anybody have any questions on numbers 1 or number 2? You did probably all this in class or most of it in class. 1 and 2, any questions on either of these? How to plot these points? It's kind of what you just did in IXL.
I didn't get it.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fine. You guys did it in class, so you're fine. I gave you credit. Number 3, any questions on 3? Okay. Any questions on 4? Kyle. Any questions on the quadrant problems? 5, 6, 7, 8. We're good? Okay. Remember, quadrant 1's in the top right, and then we go counterclockwise. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. On these, I recommended that you plot them and determine what quadrant they're in. Remember, if they're not in a quadrant, they're on an axis. So, like, for example, 1, 0 right here. 1, 0, if you plot that, it's that red point right there on the x-axis. So you would write x-axis. There were no y-axis points here. If it were at 0, 0, what's that point called?
Origin.
It's called the origin. Very good. All right. Any questions from anybody about anything on that? Okay. I just sent you today's notes, which are a little different. It's not the fill-in-the-blank notes like we have been doing. It's a PowerPoint. It looks like this. So don't worry about this drill. You should know how to do this by now, plotting points on a number line. If you don't, you should take some time and come through tutorial. I'll help you out on that if you don't know how to do that, but I think everybody does. I do want you to do these drill problems. So you have this in your notes section in OneNote. Please simplify each of these. And on the bottom two, make sure you show your substitution. So I'm going to bring up random students. So I'm going to bring your screen up here momentarily. So go ahead and work these 5 problems. If you're at home, pause the video. So that's what we're doing now, the drill problems to start class. All right, Blair Hilly, congratulations. You were picked by Kyle to answer the first three problems. Let's take a look. The absolute value of negative 11 is 11. Great job on that, Blair. All right, now, this one's a little different. The absolute value of negative 56 is what, everybody?
56.
56, good. And then once you take that absolute value, what's waiting outside for the negative sign, right? And so, good job, Blair. You got it right. It is 56, and then boom, outside that negative sign is waiting for it. It's negative 56. Good job, Blair. Like it. Next problem. Absolute value of negative 7 is 7 plus the absolute value of 19 is 19. 7 plus 19 is 26. Blair, great job on those three problems. Blair, pick a number between 1 and 18 for me. 1 and 18? 8. Caitlin Kilborn. Let's take a look here. All right. There it is. Okay. If A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 7, and C is equal to 9, let's evaluate this. Okay, I want you to show your substitution. So I need to see this step. Absolute value of A. Well, A is 3, right? Plus absolute value of C, right here. C is 9. Minus absolute value of B. Absolute value of B is negative 7. So it should look like that. I need to see that step in there. So now let's take the absolute. Wait, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I was going to go to that step next. You basically jump straight to the second step. So erase those lines you just put in if you would. Control Z would get the job done. We take the absolute value of 3 and we get 3. Plus gets copied down. The absolute value of 9 is 9. The subtraction sign gets copied down. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So now we've got 3 plus 9. What's 3 plus 9 there, Caitlin? 12, right? So you should have 12 there. And then minus 7 gets copied down. What's 12 minus 7? 5. 5. Oh, you wrote it off to the side. Okay, sorry, I was looking at 27. I thought you multiplied 9 times 3. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, what you did off to the right there is correct. Good job. Just make sure we're showing our substitution. Caitlin, pick a number between 1 and 18.
13.
13. Olivia.
Okay, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Well, I thought I wrote the substitution with a 3 plus 9.
So the absolute value sign was gone in your first step. Yeah, the absolute value sign needs to be there when you show your substitution.
But if I do the next step, can I just jump to the 20 or the 12 minus 7 and do I have to like take them away and write that?
Basically, what you did was totally correct. Just make sure you include this first step, all right? Okay. Other than writing in the substitution.
I did my wrong.
Well, let's take a look. I'll help you out here. That's why I get paid. All right, let's see. 2.3. You erased. All right, we'll work it together. All right, A. What is A? It is 3. Multiplied by the absolute value of B. So the absolute value of negative 7. Minus C. Well, C is 9. Multiplied by the absolute value of C, which is the absolute value of 9. So there's you showing your substitution. What's the first thing we do here? Yes, Molly? Take the absolute value. So that's 3 multiplied by, Olivia, what's the absolute value of negative 7? 7. The minus gets copied down. 9 multiplied by, Olivia, what's the absolute value of 9? 9. Now we multiply. Olivia, what's 3 times 7? 21 minus, what's 9 times 9? 81. Now, think about 81 minus 21. What's 81 minus 21 equal to? It is 60, yeah, right? We take 1 away and we get to 80, then we take 20 away, we get to 60. So what do you think 21 minus 81 is going to be? It's actually negative 60. Yeah, so this is going to be negative 60. We haven't learned that quite yet, so if you saw it in your last school, great. And if not, don't sweat it. I'm not going to give you problems like this on the quiz, which we do have tomorrow. But it's just fun to do stuff that, you know, maybe is a stretch for you from time to time. So that was the warm-up, negative 60 on the fifth problem there. Okay, today's class we're going to be comparing and ordering. This is section 2.3 in your book. Today's objective is to compare and order integers. Cal, you got a question? Oh, okay, gotcha. So practice. It is 12 degrees below in one city. How can we represent that with an integer? It's what you did the warm-up on. If you scroll down, it should be there. Mason, what is that going to be? Negative 12. Everybody write negative 12 right there where I wrote it on your PowerPoint. You're just going to take notes on the PowerPoint today. Like literally on the PowerPoint itself. You can write on this just like I can. And it's 5 degrees below in another. So let's write, what would that be?
Mine, negative 5.
Negative 5. What's warmer? Negative 12 degrees or 5 degrees?
5.
Negative 5 is warmer, right? If it's negative 12 outside, it's colder. So we're going to put the less than sign. Negative 12 is less than negative 5. If you were to put this on a number line, it would look like this. Let's put negative 5 over here. Negative 7, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, and then here is negative 12. So negative 5, that point right there, negative 12, that point right there. The point that is further right is greater than, right? Further right. Yeah, you can just look at this. The point that is further right is greater.
Because then it's closer to positive numbers.
That's right.
And like positive numbers.
But it works for positive numbers too, right? If you have positive numbers, like if you have like 100 and you're comparing that to like 89, 100 is greater than 89, and on the number line it would be further to the right. So numbers further to the right are greater, numbers further left would be less than. Okay, questions on that? Okay, so if you're ever in doubt, you can always plot these on a number line. So we can use greater than, we can use less than, or we can use equal to compare numbers. So let's take a look at these. Negative 6 compared to negative 2. What do you think it's going to be? Greater than, less than, or equal to?
Negative 2 is greater.
Right, so we're going to say negative 6 is less than negative 2. All right, so go ahead and practice that with these three. That last one's challenging, but see if you can do it. Yes? All right, Kyle, help me out on this. Negative 6 and 0. What sign am I going to put in between these two? Less than. Negative 6 is less than 0. Miles, how about negative 12 and negative 14?
Negative 12 is greater.
Greater than negative 14. Okay, now for the last one, let's talk about positive numbers before we talk about these negative numbers. Let's say we've got, let's say you got money in your pocket, right? And here is $5.50, okay? And then, you know, something happens, maybe you find some money, whatever, and now you have $5.55. What number is greater, $5.50 or $5.55? Caitlin?
$5.55.
Right, so this one is larger. This one's greater than. So, Caitlin, am I going to put this $5.55? Am I going to put it to the left or to the right of 550?
Right.
To the right of 550, right? 5. Okay. Now, what if we had the number 5.555? Where would that go? 5.555. Michael?
It would go to the right.
Further to the right, right? Be like somewhere over here. That would be 5.555. All right, so we understand that idea with positive numbers, right, Campbell? You with me? Right? Okay. So now with negative numbers, it's the same idea. Let me erase this stuff. It's the same idea, but we're dealing with negative numbers. And with negative numbers, it kind of goes the other way. So if we got negative 6.6 here, and we want to plot negative 6.666, that's going to be further to the right. Negative 6.666, further to the right. I'm sorry, further to the left. Yeah, I think I misspoke. Further to the left. So which number is greater?
6.6.
Yeah, negative 6.6 is greater. So we're going to say negative 6.6 is greater than negative 6.666. So problems like this, you probably do want to actually plot them on a number line so that you don't get tripped up. Yes, Caitlin?
Can't you just like, so I didn't draw the number line, but I still knew it because like, wouldn't it just be 6.60 instead of 6.66?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, so that's a great way to think about it too. You can think about this as 6.600 even if you want to, compared to negative 6.666. And yeah, you're right.
So do
Greater.
you really have to draw?
You don't have to, no. Like if you're able to do this and like fully understand it, but if you looked at this and you're like, I'm not real sure on that,
Yeah.
plot it on the number line, and that's a way you can solve that problem. Okay?
And what if
All right, let's take a moment. I want you to order these numbers from least to greatest. Let's do this one together. Which one's least out of this group?
0. -7.
Negative 7 is least. What's the next least number out of that group?
-3.
Negative 3. What's next?
-2.
Negative 2. What's next?
0.
0 and
5.
5. There we go. So now do the same thing, but do it with this list down below. Order them from least to greatest. All right, so here's a strategy for this. We've got negative and positive numbers. Let's underline the negatives in red. You don't have to do this, but it might just help you stay organized. Obviously, if we're ordering from least to greatest, we got to put those negatives in there first. So what is the least number out of this group? Negative 4.4, negative 4.3, negative 4, negative 4.44. Charlie, what do you think? What's going to be least? Negative 4.44. That is the least out of that group of 4. Charlie, what comes next? Negative 4.4. Charlie, what comes next? Negative 4.3. And then finally out of that group of 4, Charlie? Negative 4. Okay, good. So we have ordered the negative numbers from least to greatest. Now let's keep going, but let's go with our positive numbers. So we have positive 4, we have positive 4.4, we have positive 4.44. Madison, what comes next?
Positive 4.
Yeah, it's going to be positive 4 next. Madison, what comes after positive 4?
4.4.
4.4. And then finally?
4.44.
4.44. That's a lot of 4s, y'all. So there you go. That is your list of those numbers from least to greatest. Any questions on this? Write an inequality. Write two inequalities involving -5 and -1. Who wants to, let's see, who have we not heard from today? Campbell, help me out here. Give me one inequality with -5 and -1. So let's write -5 on the left, -1 on the right. So give me an inequality here. What? No, an inequality. What signs do we use for inequalities, Campbell? Do you remember? Less than, greater than, or less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Let's not use the less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. You could, but let's not do it for the sake of this. We're trying to get a point across here. So Campbell, -5, -1. What do you think? There you go. Okay, now write another inequality, everybody. Quinn, I'll come to you in a second. What do you think, Quinn?
I said -1 is greater than -5.
-1 is greater than -5. Good. I like it. Guys, on your own, do the same thing with -4 and -2. Use less than or greater than. Don't use less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Write two inequalities with those two integers. Finley, we haven't heard from you yet, so give me one of your inequalities.
-4 is greater than -2. Oh, sorry. -2 is greater than -4.
Okay, so -2 is greater than -4. I like that. What about your other one?
-4 is less than -2.
-4 is less than -2. So we can write the same, it's the same relationship using two different inequality signs. We just got to flip them, right? Questions on those? Okay, very good. back to IXL, math, 7th grade, B6 and B7. B6 and B7. Let's start with B7. Let's work that in class. Let's try to get to 100 on B7. And then for homework is B6. If you finish with B7 in time, go on to B6. For B6 for homework, hang on. For B6, just get to 90. Just get to 90 on B6. So B7, 100. Do that in class. B6, 90 for homework. And if you finish in class, get started on the homework now. All right. So that's it for today. If you're home, I'll update this on Google Classroom as well. Thanks.